It's really privileged to have you on guys and explaining your great country. So my question is there any provision for visa on arrival for the Indians? And if anybody wants to start a business there, even in the sector of tourism, wherein Kolkata can have a branch and they can have a branch in South Africa. So what are the scopes and whom to talk with? And what are the process of having multiple entry visas or anything for the people who want to contact the tours or especially the photographers who want to do the wildlife photography. So that's the one thing. And another important thing is there any way we can learn Zulu or Swahili sitting in Kolkata? Thank you.
Thank you very much. South Africa is currently testing the e-visa, right? It's been a long process. It's had its hiccups, but we are there. We've had people from India and Kolkata applying online. Some have been successful, some have had hiccups. In the event that you've got an urgent visa or travel requirements, my advice is to do the normal visa application. Our visa applications have been incredible. I think we're one of the few countries in India that is able to process a visa between 7 to 10 working days, right? And most of our competitors are taking 60 days, they're taking 90 days because of the backlog. We've also had some of the business visas and the backlog. You want to open a business in South Africa? I would be more than willing to engage with you. We also have a Department of Tourism, Industry and Competition that sits within our embassies and our consulates. You absolutely can open a branch of tourism. I'll even refer to you to companies that can assist you. This is there's an increase of Indian tour operators who have started to open businesses because they're finding it easier to open a business because then they manage, and also I believe it's reducing the cost. What is critical, Val, when you do look at it, that when you open a business, all we plead for is that make sure that you use the proper registered guides, make sure that your tour, your bus, your shuttles are really, really good quality, and that the labor laws of the country are followed and that whatever is required. On multiple visa, again, it's dependent. The minute you open a visa company, you'll have a multiple visa or a business visa, not an issue. You can learn Zulu or any other language. I would find a language school that we can assist you and find it with you. You can also speak to one of the tourism, state tourism boards that's downstairs, and they can also assist you. I'm not sure if there's a school in India that teaches you Zulu, but I know in South Africa we can, and there's online classes that can do that. And I've got another notification that says, what time? Okay, this is the one. I see someone just wrote in. Are you happy with the questions, my answers? I will also be more than willing to assist finding you a school in terms of or any other information pertaining to your questions.
And another thing I want to know, apart from the Kruger National Park, what are the possible wildlife national parks or sanctuaries you have where the tourism can be promoted?
So one of the regions that I would really prompt you to look at, Kruger National Park sits on 2 states. Kruger National Park sits on Mpumalanga. They are 20% of Kruger sits on Mpumalanga. 80% sits on a province called Limpopo. If you are done with this, I could introduce you. So there's Limpopo that's got Kruger, but on the other side. We've been very vigilant in showcasing KwaZulu-Natal. KwaZulu-Natal is a state in South Africa where Qatar and Emirates land directly. It costs you 30 to 40% cheaper than going into your known cities. You can imagine. I always make an analogy of if you buy an iPhone and you buy a Nokia, right? Everybody wants an iPhone. Very few people consider the Nokia, but the Nokia does the same thing as the iPhone, right? But sometimes it's a bit more affordable. So to your question, KwaZulu-Natal Durban has got some of the most incredible game lodges. Ezemvelo is the competitor or the sister to Kruger. They've got Tanda Lodge, they've got Pinda Lodge, and the wildlife is incredible. Here's the joy about KwaZulu Natal. They are an equivalent of Mumbai in terms of weather. It is constantly hot. It is humid, but what's also fantastic about this region, it is the second largest home to the Indian community outside India within Africa. Therefore, from a culinary perspective, it's easy from a food perspective, it's good for your palate, you don't need to be bringing chefs. You've got people who are from Gujarat, South India, North India, but they are descendants and children who were born and whose fathers came at the time when Mahatma Gandhi, in fact, it is the home of Mahatma Gandhi. The granddaughter, Miss Ella Gandhi, still lives there. So the history that binds India and Durban, KwaZulu-Natal is incredible, but it's not known because what I've found and what is needed is that the Indian tour operators, as well as the South African tour operators, need to start showing more of the diverse side. But if you ask me where can I get wildlife, KwaZulu-Natal, you can also get some fantastic wildlife in the home of Nelson Mandela, which is the Eastern Cape, the Great Island Elephant Park, Klipra, Kwenkwezi, Kwantu, Shamwari. These are great, beautiful lodges, unspoken, unheard of, also very, very world class. The thing that I picked up about the Indian travelers, when we go to Mpumalanga, they're only going to the Kruger, right? But if you go to a place called God's Window, you go to a place that is like the Blind Canyon, the only people that you're going to see at these places are Europeans. You'll never see a bus full with Indians at God's Window. 18 months ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, all the Indians were doing were like, I call it click travel. They were click, 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 in and out, click, 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 in and out. Then you go to a place like God's Window, there's no Indian bus, right? Because where are the Indians? They're in Sun City, they're in Cape Town, maybe Port Elizabeth, at Tsitsikamma, Knysna. The rest of the world is traveling South Africa in a very global. Therefore, and that is why we did the More and More campaign, said we need to change and allow you as Indians to enjoy South Africa at the same value, at the same height as what the rest of the world, because it is unjust for you to travel 14 hours and you're only seeing 10% of the country. Port Elizabeth Garden Route, it's a 3-hour drive. You won't find a lot of Indians doing Edo and Park, right? You won't find a lot of Indians in Limpopo. You won't find Indians doing KwaZulu Natal. Guess what? It's affordable, it's beautiful. There's a state in South Africa called Free State. It's the only state where you can literally go to 2 countries while you're in South Africa. It's in the middle of South Africa, less than 2 hours away. There's another country called Lesotho, where Indians can go skiing in an African continent. But because the way South Africa has been sold, both by some of our tour operators here and by some of our South African tour operators, I don't think you're seeing the biggest and the fuller pictures of South Africa. And my request when you write is the consumer must request, we want to see more of South Africa. We want to do the unknown. We want the wild spaces. We want the open spaces. We want to do the things that are not in the top 10 bucket list. Go to number 11, 12, 13, and 20. And I can tell you what, the value proposition is incredible. I would like to see every Indian come back and say, yes, I did Cape Town, but you know what? I also did KwaZulu Natal. And you know what? I also did Free State. Free State is a 2-hour, 3-hour drive to Johannesburg. And you see the Golden Gate. Beautiful lodges, highly affordable, incredible people, culture. You do it in summer, you do it in winter, you get a bit of snow. So that is my answer to where else can I go?
Madam, in case of going to Swaziland from the South Africa as well, does that require any visa, or you can just pass through?
I think it's visa on arrival, Lesotho's visa on arrival. Ask your tour operator.
Okay.
Ask your tour operator. Swaziland is a gorgeous country. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi.
First of all, welcome to Kolkata.
Thank you.
Myself, Ritu Shaigwa for BBC Tour. Actually, I have a